to explain something. I know that a lot of you are asking questions. You know, my mom had a traditional side, but my mom was an independent thinker, would you agree? And she always encouraged me to think outside the box. She always encouraged me to do the things that Spirit told me to do, and to live my life the way that I was supposed to live my life. That always brought her the greatest joy. And my mom and my dad had a marvelous life together. My mom says I was one of the most blessed people that's ever been on the planet. She says I was married to this man for so many years, and even though he wasn't perfect, even though we thought he was, we sure did have a lot of good laughs and a lot of good times. So what I've set up here is, my mom loved scented candles. And the reason why she loved them so much was because she smoked a lot in the house. And when people would come over, they would kind of cough a lot. And so she thought, well, scented candles will surely cover it up. At our house, in the afternoons around 4 o'clock, when if my father wasn't working, they would have a little party. They would have a little party at 2 in the afternoon when my dad would lay down and take a nap after he retired. And then he'd get up at 2 o'clock and he'd have a little a glass of Coca-Cola, as he would say, always called it Coca-Cola. And he would make a bag of popcorn, and he and Mom would sit down with a bag of popcorn. Then that's the reason why the popcorn is here. At 4 o'clock, that was happy hour. And they always had their little cocktails, and they would meet their friends down at the Elks Club or out at the Country Club or whatever other place that served alcohol. And my father would have his scotch and water, and my mom would have her Tanqueray martini. And so that's the reason why I have this all set up here. Now, as you all know, that she was a smoker, and I honored her as she continued on in her life up until the very end. She says, I have been smoking for 60-some years. Why should I stop now? And so what I have done is that I pulled a cigarette out of her last pack, set it right here. This is a ashtray from the Stardust in Las Vegas, which they love going to Las Vegas. And they also like to roll dice. And so that's the reason for all of this. And of course, my mom loved flowers. Now, from the Stardust, I have a story I want to tell you. When my parents got together, there was a time back in the day that they had places up on the lakes. And these places were like little cantinas. And they would have cocktails, and they would have, hamburgers and food that they would be able to buy. But there was this one place they went to, and I can't remember, or maybe Jim, you remember, if it was on Tippy or Wawasee or on Barbie. I don't remember, one of the lakes. They would go up, they would drive up in the late afternoon, they would have dinner and cocktails, and they would dance under the stars. And my mom was telling me this story, and the song that she said that she loved, Dancing Under the Stars, was a song that just really meant a lot to her and my dad. And so I'm going to sing that song. It's entitled Stardust. Now I've changed the words.
In the sky, the little stars climb over to my feet. That's where you are. You wander down the lane so far away, leaving me a song that will not die. There's now the stardust of yesterday, the music of the years. lonely night, dreaming of the song, the melody haunts my memory, and I am once again with you. Your love was true, and your kiss an inspiration, but that seems long ago. Now my consolation is in the stardust of the song beside the garden wall. When stars are bright, you are in my heart. The nightingale sings his fairy tale of paradise where roses bloom. Though I dream in vain, my heart you will remain, my stardust melody, the memory of love's
Now, I just want to say, if there's anyone who would like to say a word or two about Bob, this is the time to do that. And if, depending on how long this takes, just to let you know, that food is after. So I'm going to open it up. If anybody would like to say something, I'm going to try and get over to you as fast as I can. Okay?
I'll just make it brief. I remember talking to her and explaining to her about eBay. I had gotten something new to wear, that purple tunic that I have, and she was just absolutely fascinated by the whole concept of eBay and how you could go online and buy clothes. It was a pleasure talking to her about that.
Yeah. She was always open to it. Wonderful. Oh, thank you, honey.
He shouldn't be walking around without his crutch, but he is.
That's
Would someone else like to share?
Anybody else? It's a shame, you know, he's my age now. He should be able to walk better.
Yeah, she doesn't need the hearing device anymore. She was actually able to hear us sing today. That's awesome.
Okay, so I just have to say she had the best sense of humor ever. She had a really wicked, sarcastic sense of humor, and it's really funny. She and my husband Dave had a very special bond. I'm not really sure what that was about, except that she liked to rag on him, and had a lot of joy in watching the exchanges between the two, and she loved our children.
Mm-hmm. She sure does.